Moms are supposed to be being of know all, be all, everything, superwoman. Constantly under pressure to give the best to their children. So, is motherhood overrated? Have we put a mother on the pedestal? Is it important for a woman to embrace motherhood to feel fulfilled? Who better than an investigative journalist to look into these answers? So searching these answers is Jupinderjit, who is a special correspondent with the Tribune and has authored 5 books. He's in conversation with the younger generation on whether motherhood is necessary. Jupinderjit. Our first panelist is Urvi Sharma, an assistant professor in Department of English at MCM College, who specializes in gender studies. She has conducted many seminars and workshops and has even authored a book on the subject. So, welcome Urvi. Next is Sonia Chauhan, who along with being a corporate lawyer, is an author and a book editor. Recently, her novella, The Maze of Mirrors, was awarded by the Amazon Pen to Publish contest. Sonia. To complete the panel is Sahira Jain, who is currently pursuing BA LLB from National Law University, Sonia. She's an avid reader, a writer, and a national level Latin dancer too. So, the stage is all yours. Depends on all the beautiful women out here to find out what does the younger generation feel about motherhood.
I hope it is working, yes. Thank you, and greetings for the Mother's Day in advance. And please, have some thoughts for the fathers also who have some role to play. Maybe a little role. Yeah, so then. So as we are running late already, I'll just shoot the questions straight. And my first question is to Urvi. And kindly tell about your family also so that the audience can understand your thoughts better. And our topic is the most interesting and most challenging because I don't think majority of population will agree that motherhood is not needed. Without motherhood, none of us would have been here. So, Urvi, what are your thoughts on this?
So, of course, we are celebrating Mother's Day. I completely agree that.
Please tell about your family.
Okay, so I'm Urvi. I live in Chandigarh with my husband. I don't have any kids. I plan on having 3.
But
So, but I'm participating in this panel in particular because I firmly believe that it is still a matter of choice. Because I feel, first of all, I feel that motherhood is necessary is kind of a problematic statement because it is a luxury. So first of all, let's start talking about how many women, and in fact humans, parents are healthy enough physically and psychologically to have children. Then secondly, it is a matter of choice. When we say that motherhood is necessary, we are burdening each woman to, be mothers. And maybe they don't want to choose that, but they don't have the privilege to make that sort of choice. And it's not even a matter of question of privilege. It could be just a matter of choice. I could, every time I think about this particular statement, I'm reminded of Jupinderjit, a movie that released in 2020. And it is a story that is narrated from a daughter's perspective. So we see that Anupama Banerjee, who's played by Sahira, is constantly talking about how she doesn't want to be a mother. And then she becomes a mother. And she's happy. This woman who had been shouting throughout 1.5 hours of the movie that she doesn't want to be a mother, she's never going to be a mother. It's suddenly a mother and she's happy and she's crying and she's joyous. Although that was such a beautiful scene, but I found that very heartbreaking I mean, of course, this is based on somebody's individual experience, and that is beautiful. Of course, this happened to a particular person, but what I believe is that it made most of the people think that all the women who say that they don't want to be mothers also want to be mothers. You know, they are lying about it, so there's no choice. All of them want to be mothers. So I really feel that we need to kind of, as ma'am also mentioned, that it is not definitive. It is not defined that if you are a woman, you have to be a mother. You choose to be a mother. And I think that is a beautiful choice to make, yes. But at the same time, it has to be a choice. Hence, it is kind of problematized when we say it is necessities.
Yeah, very well put. And I think Sonia should take on from here only that is motherhood a matter of choice?
Okay.
Unless there are accidents.
Yes, absolutely. That is there as well. कभी तो बोलते हैं ना बच्चे भगवान की देन है. That happens. India is the second most populated country in the world. We are we've taken over China as I speak. Okay, congratulations to everybody in India. We need more people on earth as if. Anyway, I have some controversial stands. Some of you may not like what I say. Some of you, मुझे अंडे मत मारना please. Anyway. I am 35 years old. I've been married for 7 years. I am thoroughly in love with my husband, and I hope he is also in love with me. He claims to be. I have been asked at least 800 times, when will I have a child? And I feel that it puts very unnecessary pressure, not on my mind, but on my body. And you know, the body is, there is a book called The Body Keeps the Score. All of your, in the book, the author says that, the author basically propounds, and he's a medical doctor, so he propounds that all of your bodily issues are coming from your psychology. A lot of them are coming from your psychology. So, बहुत ज़्यादा कभी-कभी हम लोग अपने ऊपर pressure ले लेते हैं, and subconsciously we, all this pressure is subconscious and we don't realize, you know, and people give very disturbing statements at times, which are absolutely not needed. You know, you can just meet somebody, have a nice time with them, go about your way, without checking up with them. What is the status of their uterus? Fibroids तो नहीं है, कुछ issues तो नहीं है, सब ठीक है ना, अभी से बन रही है. So yeah, it's become a bit sinister now these days. So I just feel like, you know, how a lot of white people have started treating blacks these days. You know, that we have to get out in the streets and protect them. We have to protect their rights. Come, I will protect your rights. You know what the black people actually want? What does the community want to feel included? Just leave them alone. Don't judge them. Don't ask them. Mind your business. Let them live their life. You don't have to check up with women, the status of their biology, their psychology, their genealogy. Just leave us alone. And I'm not saying that I will not have a child. But you know, so I have hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, or yoga, it's pretty common, right? So somebody met me and said, "Ab to conceiving mein bahut problem ho jayegi. Kaise conceive karoge ab? How old are you?" And I was like, you know, I'm just not as polite as her, so I'm just rapidly shocked. And you know, all these statements, I am internalizing all these statements. And I myself feel worried at times. You know, one day I'll wake up, I'll be like, oh my God, when will I have a child? And the next day I'll be like, oh my God, I don't think I want to have a child. What do you think? I ask my husband again and again, and he's like, bas kar de, just don't talk to me about it. Let's not talk about it, because something which is so simple and it used to be so relaxed in our parents' times has become very complicated these days. So I just feel like we need to leave women alone. You know, whoever wants to be a mom, even moms have been put on a pedestal. You know, they have been made goddesses and they are living in constant guilt. I have so many friends who are moms and they're living in guilt. यार I'm not spending time with my kids, you know, अभी मैं इसको लेके जाती हूँ मॉल, अभी मैं इसको fun, whatever that, that play area, I'll take him there, you know, I need to do this for my child, I need to do that for my child, and there are so many women who are actively and happily sacrificing to bring up their child, which is a beautiful thing. But please let's not pressurize them more, or let's not guilt women into having children, because for a lot of reasons, some women don't want to, and some women can't have children. So I don't think that we should be on this side of the line and say that, oh, हमारे तो बच्चे हो गए, तुम्हारे तो हो नहीं पा रहे. You know, surrogate moms are as good as biological moms. Adoptive moms are as good as biological moms. You know, it's hard to pick up someone else's child, which is biologically not your child. So much respect to those people. Some people's bodies don't allow, therefore they have to go for a surrogate. They also live in immense guilt. So I feel like बहुत सारी गिरने बाकी हैं इस टॉपिक की. अभी मैंने थोड़ी सी खोली है. And I'm going to stop at that.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. And she's typical Sonia. She's like that. And she is conservative today, you know. So yeah, societal pressure is there, not just on the women but also on the husband. You know, there is this, you know, this generation has double income and no children. There's so many of us. I am also one of them. So, and you won't believe that my wife has this, you know, very stern kind of personality. So no one, not even her mother, talks to her about kids. But everyone comes and gives me advice. You know, and believe me, I know contacts of all the doctors who are in this area.
Vagaries of fatherhood.
Yeah, including Shahi Dawakhana and Bandari.
That's wonderful.
So moving on, we have Sahira, and she has a very interesting take on this. She has got 6 dogs. And so there is a different motherhood which she is going to talk about. What I am scared is that she has written 4 pages and we don't have time for those. Please, so just go, don't read. Okay. Sorry for that.
Good evening, everybody. I really hope I'm audible. To start with my discussion, I would like to say that she's a mother and she's vulnerable. Just hurt a child and you will see. She's strong. Just hurt a child and you will see. She has been elevated. She's a mom. She has been demeaned. She's just a mom. She's full. Loving a child so completely will do that to you. She's empty. Loving a child so completely will do that to you. Who says she can't have it all? She has everything. To expand the horizon just a bit more, I believe that these lines hold true for pet parents as well. I have had, my family has raised 6 dogs and I've had the wonderful opportunity to care and raise a few. My last dog, Max, he was a beautiful golden Labrador and he had the similar quirks to that of a child. Cuddling and building them special forts when the thunderstorm hits, check. Bringing him to the doctor on the intuition that something might not be right, even though it turns out just to be a sneaky allergy, check. Coming home to them and feeling fulfilled, check. Baby-proofing the whole house just because they don't get hurt, check. Traveling with them, getting their treats, toys and whatnot, just to see the gleam in their eyes, check. The purpose of these illustrations was to bolster the conclusion that motherhood does not necessarily have to be caring for a human child. It means caring for a child necessarily, it does not have to be that of a human, it can be, it can be any child. And as we don't have time, I will not elaborate further.
Oh, no, you can. So what are your dogs? What are the breed of your dogs?
two were Labradors, one was a German Shepherd, one was, I believe he was a Greyhound, and two, I believe, were Pomeranians. Different breeds, different coats, different ways of caring for them. So even when you have to care for a pet, you get to know the intricacies, of how to care for a baby. I'm not equating a human child with that of like a fur
You
baby.
can. I have a dog and I am known as my dog's mommy in my society, so you can.
And as the times are modernizing and people are becoming more career oriented, some people might not want to invest their time, energy, and money on bearing and raising a child, so they choose to adopt, pets, and they proudly call themselves as pet parents. And I too am a pet parent, and I strongly believe that. Thank you.
Thank you. As we are part of a literary society, I believe that your piece of art, can you be a mother to your creativity? This is question to all of you. If you are a painter, a writer, poet, is this like giving birth to something?
I mean, that's a very tricky question, really, but that actually gives me an opportunity to talk about the term mother. When Dr. Geeta Rana started this particular session, she talked about, if we try to celebrate or elevate, motherhood, the answer is yes, we do. And the thing is that the problem with, celebrating the term, I mean, there's no problem. It's good to celebrate Mother's Day and the idea of motherhood, yes, definitely. But when we, celebrate the idea of mother being a certain sacrificial figure, who's sacrificing her own happiness, her own time, for the welfare of the children, we are actually validating those sacrifices. We are not acknowledging the complexities of those sacrifices. I mean, it's not bad for a woman to sacrifice, for any person to sacrifice anything for the sake of, their loved ones. But to celebrate that or to validate that is to validate their suffering. So when we say, how we elevate or romanticize this idea of motherhood, also because I really love this movie, Shakuntala Devi, and it gave me an opportunity to look at the idea of mother from a very pop cultural perspective. There's this kind of, idea that if you are a thinking woman, you cannot be a good mother. That is also projected in the movie itself. It is, I don't know how many of you have seen movie Shakuntala Devi, which is based loosely on the life of Shakuntala Devi. So there's a scene where, she decides to sacrifice her journal. So this is a journal where she has, collected all the archives of the awards, of the money, of all the kind of, the honors that she has won throughout her life for her mathematical talents. So now she decides to get rid of that journal because the daughter is not happy, because the daughter feels that the mother is not giving her enough time. So she gets rid of that journal, and in its place she brings another journal which is full of the pictures of Shakuntala Devi and her daughter. Now there's nothing wrong with somebody having a journal for their children. We do it all the time. I mean, that's such a beautiful souvenir to have. But to swap that, to replace, your talent with that, it kind of pits your motherhood against, your talent, against your intellect, as if you can't be both at the same time, as if these two ideas contradict each other. I mean, I'm not a mother, but those of you who are, I'm sure can only talk about how much more intellectual you become once you have another dimension added to your whole experience, to your whole being. So when we talk about, our art or our creativity, I mean, kind of mothering or being a mother to our creativity becomes such a problematic nuance, because you are right, we don't talk about similar things with respect to fathers. I mean, we would never have a discussion on whether, fatherhood is necessary or
We
not.
will have in June.
We will. That would be
So what I meant was,
that would be.
Taslima Nasreen said that when she is writing a novel, she is feeling labor pains. And when the novel, she's able to finish it, it's like a delivery for her.
Let me take you up on that.
Please.
Yeah, so I'm just going to, I also feel that this is also again a luxury for mothers, because I'm sure they have undergone such kind of pain and labor to, find with that sort of idea or that sort of feeling with their creativity. That's it. Thank you.
Those are some fair points. I kind of agree with you, but I'll build up on it a bit. But first, let me answer your question, Jupinder. I am a novelist and I write. I write and I submit and I get like scores of rejections in advance. So I am completely immersed in the creative process. So whenever I write something, I can only give you my personal example, just as you gave Taslima ji's example. तो जब मैं कोई कहानी लिखती हूँ या कोई नॉवल लिखती हूँ और वो पब्लिश हो जाती है, so then I'm like, okay, now what? अब तो हो गया ना? But I think what happens with moms is the baby comes and now you can't say what's next. That is the project that's going to go on until your life at least. I mean, everybody hopes that जब तक हम जिंदा हैं हमारे बच्चे हों हमने देखें and everything, right? So I think that's the point about that's sort of a difference, yeah. So I can just say that सारे novels can be like बहुत सारे बच्चे, तो bring up करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस निकालते रहो. You're just delivering, and the child's going to take care of itself. It could be that. So that is one difference. And another point, like celebrated author Akshanda Jalan, she's a political author and she also writes fiction. So she has 2 daughters, and I once went to an interview of hers where she said that she is a writer first and a mother second, and she has garnered hate for that. And that is where I sort of agree with you, and she brings me a mother and an artist, and you think some of us can choose to put our art before motherhood. That should not be so taboo. Because when we say that, okay, you're a mom, अब सब छोड़ दो, अब यही करना है, इसी को priority बनाना है. Whoever wants to make it a priority is very good for them, but whoever doesn't want to make it a priority should not be ostracized or witch hunted. People, maybe there are some women, हर एक इंसान में 100 इंसान छुपे होते हैं. So हर, maybe जब वो artist बने उनका वो इंसान जान जाए और वो बोले that I'm a writer first and a mother later. And she said that to her elder daughter, by the way, who got really pissed with her and maybe didn't speak to her for some time after that. I don't know. But I think it's all right, because when I was growing up, I'm a Fauji kid. And when I was growing up, my father, I hardly remember that my father really was involved in my upbringing. But my mother really was, and she sacrificed a lot of things. And she has told me, as many women of her generation, they had lesser options, and back then there was no internet, you couldn't work from home, as Sumi pointed out, and there were very less options, right? So I feel like, yes, a lot of women had to simply be a mom because there wasn't much else to do. But now there are a lot of things, and let's just not hate women for prioritizing something over motherhood. Motherhood is not, that would be a disservice to motherhood.
Yeah, let's have Sahira's thought on this, and then we will have audience questions.
Let's not have
No audience questions on us. Yeah. That's why I asked only 2 questions. The rest are all audience. Please, Sahira.
I have been a writer since the past 7 or 8 years, and I haven't looked back since. I started when I was in class 8, but over the years I have come to realize that writing something or producing something, it really is like an intricate process. You have to think, you have to read your thoughts, you have to put emotion into it. Like, I might not be in a position to, equate writing to that of, birthing the child. That would be very wrong. But giving something your blood, sweat, and tears, I believe that you deserve to be called. Get to call the mother of that creation. So I write articles, poetries, and quotes. I do believe that I am the mother of those creations because वो चीज़ मेरे अंदर से निकल के आ रही है. So being a mother to something that I created, I believe that is correct. Thank you.
That's an audience question.
Yeah, one more. Because I've been listening to Sonia only when nobody else was available here.
That's not right.
And then the quotes only, just for the fun sake only. You talked about the creativity. So when are we going to have your creation?
This is
This is societal pressure again.
This is the 801st time now. Because I asked you again. Very soon. That's the answer I give everyone. Very soon, sir.
Okay.
You will inform.
Yeah.
I would share another personal experience I had. And I totally get it, which is why I really wanted this session to be there. Because, as I said earlier, so I love being a mom and it's been a tremendous learning for me. But come on, that doesn't define me and it should not define anyone ever. So, but talking about relatives, I had a, with Thai sauce or something, and I have 2 daughters. This is some time back. So then we kept a 3rd dog. We already had 2. She actually said, "Teesra kutte hi rakhna, to bachcha hi the word being to try practically, you might have a son, You might strive good for the family this time. And talking about pet mothers, it's not either or. I'm very happy to transition from having the kids at home to having 2 dogs rule the house. And being a pet mom, my children say, these 2 are living the best life.
Yeah, when I'm really sad, I say, "Kash main se dad hoti kisi ke ghar mein." This is my life. It's the best life.
They have that. I feel very successful as a pet mom.
Any other questions?
I think we over with the Thank you so much for this insightful discussion. And we get into the minds of the younger generation to see how they think. I remember when I was expecting my daughter, the last phases are always bad. You can't breathe, you can't say, you can't do anything. And I said, एक बार बेबी आ जाए उसके बाद मैं सो नहीं मुझसे आप पूछे मैं कब सोई